welcome everyone to another dev update with Jawad. We have a few community questions from you guys and we hope to answer all of them. Jay, welcome, man.
Hey, man. Nice to be here.
Directly just get on.
You beautiful person. Okay.
Thank you so much. So a lot of questions with our announcement last week, Virtua Island, a lot of them from Cardano as well. So first question, Virtua announced a new island last week. So please tell us, what is Virtua Island?
Okay. Well, you know, from day one, we've always said that there's a world, Virtua Prime. Cardano Island's the first island, which has got the Cardano community on it with a ton of features for Cardano. But the idea is that it is a large world and we embrace cross-chain as part of that. Virtua Island is the next phase. Cardano was our small island with a launch, which gets all the features first. And there's going to be a lot of things that come into the metaverse, and Cardano will always get it first. Virtua Island is basically something that we did intend to launch a month ago, but what we decided was we need to go ahead and finish off the claim event first, and also have all our ducks in a row for the condo event and also the crib event, and get all of that done first. So we focused on getting focused on the claim, and then go ahead and launch Virtua Island. Virtua Island is going to be our hub island, our main one. So the island shaped like a V. And this island itself is where we're actually going to have all of the main new Virtua features about our metaverse with our identity. So Cardano is very much it's Cardano and Virtua, the foundations. It's very much going to be built in partnership with Cardano projects. And it's their space in the metaverse, and which will have Virtua Hub and Virtua features. But the whole idea here is that we're making a big world. We want a network effect. So I want multi-chains on this world, which are basically all exist on this planet. And so that way we've got this community, this community, this community, this community, and then this brand, this degen project, this crypto project, this large crypto company, large institutions. We've got some large ones coming on board as well. And everyone on the world get access to benefits around that and related to that. So Cardano Island users will be able to go into the Virtual Hub, then teleport into the Virtual Hub on the main Virtual Island as well, and have access to those features. And they'll be able to do things like take the vehicles across onto the new part of the world. And also one of the interesting parts is that the resource economy that we've created has got resources on our new island as well. But there's certain resources they don't have, right? And so like Cardanium
is only on
Cardano. Yeah. But you know what? You need it in the entire world to craft the really cool stuff. So that means that as we get bigger, that is also a rare element that will need to be traded if Cardano community are the only ones who can create it. And that can be used in the wider world for certain things. It might be that we're creating an interstellar drive and it's what you need. It might be something related to the Monster Zone and it's something that you need there.
So cool.
So the whole point here is that anyone who is part of Cardano will benefit from the wider ecosystem.
Got it.
Because a network effect is critical. The market is too small for us to only focus, and we've said this 1,000 times on AMAs, it's too small to focus on one community, one group, and say this is the be all and end all. This is a wide ecosystem.
No. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
This is a wide ecosystem, and it's not even that. We want to bring in not only just the whole crypto crowd, but it has to be about the mass market.
A place to go to.
It has to be. I mean, look at the DAUs in a lot of these projects. They're tiny. And the funny thing is, something like Second Life on the PC has got it's acquiring 250,000 users a month. Compare that to what you have in any metaverse land. The mainstream are the people who need to come in to engage in the metaverse. Metaverse is going to be about experiences, and the people who own islands and the communities who own them should benefit from them.
Got it.
But they are all participants of an ecosystem. We want millions of daily active users.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do that focusing on one thing.
Just one ecosystem.
And we can't just hold our breath and stop as well. So the idea is that we're going to do... Claim was absolutely critical, and I think everyone's seen that's been very smooth. We're very happy with the way that went. Condo, crib, and around the same time, the Virtua Island official launch as well.
You mentioned crib and condo. Someone actually asked, when can we expect a crib event, and when can the condo claim event for Cardano happen?
I think a lot's going to happen in November. The condo event is what we're aiming to do first. We're then going to follow up with the crib event. But the crib event is going to be, it's looking like the tail end of November, but we will do a beta earlier. So we are going to be opening up to the Cardano community, and before we actually have cribs which are given to everyone, I want a focus group where we can drop the first cribs to, they can start using the features, and we can get some feedback. We're doing tons of QA, but I really want some community feedback. So we're going to have a crib beta first, and then the crib event.
Okay, got it.
So we're being very cautious. I mean, you've seen the way we did the claim event. We delayed it, but the end result was something
fantastic, right?
Yeah? So
it makes sense.
Again, I don't think it doesn't make sense for the crib event just to be internally tested. I want the community giving me some feedback.
Very nice. Some other questions, man. You've touched upon this, but is Virtua Island different from Cardano? How? And this one, I think you mentioned this as well. How does the Cardano Island owners benefit from Virtua Island?
Okay, so if I was to talk about a Virtua Island, it's a main island. It's shaped like a logo. It's surrounded by category islands. The categories reflect the different categories on our platform. So you've got art, you've got fashion, you've got movies, you've got comics. So those are islands focused around those particular things. If you've got like a major fashion brand that come on board, or you've got a major music company that come on board, that's where the stadiums will be for some of their concerts, but it also might be where some pop stars live, and it will be some fashion celebrities live, and it might be where you have catwalk events that are happening, as well as reflected into our hubs as well. And Virtua Island is actually our main hub island for Virtua, where we do a lot of our real fun stuff. And so it's shaped like a V. You have different zones. We're disclosing a few of the zones as well when we launch. But like the whole idea is that you'll have villas, but the villas will be themed around the edge of particular zones.
Yeah.
And so like the monster zone will be the first one where the monsters roam, and the topology and stuff. We're getting very, very creative with it because ultimately Cardano Island is a city, and it's developed and it's got foundations, and the metaverse is all about that. Virtua Island is a really cool gamified place, which might not sit with some metaverse users, but we want to do something different. So the Monster Zone is going to be a very, very fascinating place, but we've got other zones coming out and communities that run around the edges of it. So it's a different sort of metaverse experience. It's something very, very gamified.
You mentioned Monster Zone. Someone actually asked, what is the Monster Zone?
It's where the monsters live. That's what it is.
And that's it. That's the answer. Nothing else.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's where the monsters live. And like, if you think about it, we've got lots of great IP already. And we've worked very hard on the narrative and the lore and everything else. And we've got some incredible creatures.
Can I say it looks really cool? I mean, I've seen the product brief, and the monsters look ridiculous.
Have you seen the first of the Goliaths?
I have not. I mean, is it based off the...
Yes, concept stuff you've seen.
God, it's just...
It's going to be good. They're going to be big and they're going to be like mean. The Monster Zone, I mean, like if anything, I would say it's more like, think Jurassic Park but full of monsters.
Yeah.
And think about utility that you could get as a user from, I don't know, breeding the monsters.
Yeah.
NFT drops based around them, riding them. But you never know. You know, the 195 squadron might be needed to protect Cardano Island from one of the big ones who decide to stroll into the ocean. And you've got to be careful.
Sea monsters?
Your yachts could come under attack as well. It's going to be some really interesting
so
stuff.
Cool. Wow.
It's a world, and we want the world to be more than just like, here's a villa. Go put some stuff up.
You mentioned 195. Someone asked, when can we walk outside? I mean, walk around in outside spaces in Virtua? And can we fly a chopper or a jet over the city, or will it be restricted airspace?
It's an interesting question about restricted airspace, because like sometimes people don't necessarily want a jet flying over their house.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a fly limit on height. So you can't just buzz a villa. You know, just for fun, right? But ultimately, the whole idea is that the vehicles are going to have utility, but on Cardano Island, but in the wider metaverse. So you're not just driving, you're not just having your yacht, which is local. You're not going to be having a plane which only can hop around the island. You will be able to take it across to the virtual lands and do interesting stuff with it.
Nice, man.
And in terms of timing, I mean, all the outside spaces, our emphasis is on Q1, those. Our emphasis on this quarter is all about the inside spaces. And
I think we mentioned this earlier as well.
Oh, we mentioned it
I mean, apart from the AMAs, I feel we've discussed this about the outside spaces for Q1.
Yeah, I know, but for so many times. But this is why it's very important we put this all into a Medium article, because we do our dev updates. we do our dev updates, and the idea was to make it fast, and that way we can keep it fluid. But
we need a
but no
repository.
one, if someone doesn't listen to them, they'll ask the same question.
This is why
So
we have the medium, the articles we're planning.
yeah, well, let's just put the roadmap. We got our roadmaps, everybody. We know what they are, so let's just put them in.
Okay.
I blame you.
Blame it all on the product person.
Who else are we going to blame?
I would blame marketing. But anyway, so let's...
It's true, also marketing. Not dev.
This is
Those
not
guys
dev,
are-
not dev.
Those guys' hands are clean.
Because they're your people. That's
Yeah,
why.
they're my people.
Hey, this is a good one. When do we get to read the lore? There's mention of the 8th dimension, ancient relics and other things. Is there an underlying story to unfold?
Oh my God, yes. My God, yes. And Pravesh, it's like it's been enhanced more over the last few weeks, and it reads so well. It's we've known what the VFleck lore is from day one.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting, and here's an interesting nugget. You know the video that we dropped last week, which and the door opened and the VFleck comes out. We actually got a VR experience that we built 4 years ago of that VFleck first being born in a lab. And so he's there and he's the first in the Genesis lab, and he comes out and he decides the core and he puts on the head. And then he comes out of the VR experience and the door opens and he walks into the city. And that's where our video started.
Yeah.
But there's a lore, and that lore's been there for many years, and we refined it. You know, wait till you meet Vanessa. That's what I'm going to say.
Vanessa. When I suppose we'll drop it as we go along, right?
Yeah. But you know, when we do publish, look, I mean, we're focusing on publishing much more detail on the resources, on the utility, the stuff like that, and especially with the Virtual Island launch, we're going to start launching the lore, the story. There's a massive underpinning story on Cardano Island's part.
You know what? We should have a session just for that, like an AMS. Just explain the lore.
You need Raja on that because the guy just
he explains. Yeah, so we need someone to explain this to the community. Have a session entirely.
Exactly. I'll get Raja to just.
Wow, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good one.
Done.
Okay, some questions on Crib and VSpace. What's the difference between a Crib and a VSpace? Follow-up question. Let's ask it right now itself. Is the Crib sellable? Can you have a plot without a Crib?
Well, you got a plot without a crib today, right? So, that's, yes, you can have a plot without a crib because that's what you got today. Look, there's like 3 questions you've decided to ask in one go.
Yeah. So this is the
do
first
one
one.
at a time.
What is the difference between a Crib and a VSpace?
Think of them as like a holodeck and a house. Okay, so VSpace is something that we're going to be providing in certain scenarios, even with mobile, which is going to be a virtual space, which is one size where you can populate your assets into, right? And they're going to be assets, all the 3D assets from Virtual and 2D, and also at the moment there'll be 2D assets, which are from the wider ecosystem because of compatibility with models and placement, but it'll come. And a crib is actually not just a room, but it's your villa. So you know you've got an exterior, you can. When you're inside it, it's going to have partition walls into it, depending on the size, and it's more of a sort of multi-room or cut-up experience. Yeah. And there'll be more. You know, the villas, the cribs are going to start off with starter cribs, but then we're going to have multi-floor cribs. We're going to have larger towers. You know, there's going to be different instances where you're going to be able to configure them exactly how you want. There'll be multiple prefabs, and all the cribs are NFTs, and they are sellable.
So they are sellable. That's
sellable and placeable on your land. But right now we're doing it's a small, medium, and large. You'll be able to put small on a small, medium on a medium, large on a large. But we're going to be adding more functionality so you can mix it up a little.
And they'll be themed as well, depending on the zone experience, maybe?
Well, on Cardano, they're all so like ultra modern. There's different varieties of them, and they haven't been released yet, but they look great. But the whole idea is that we're going to be opening it up to other 3D modelers and designers to create their own cribs and allow them to populate the universe, because it shouldn't just be us. We're providing reference designs, and we want other people to go ahead now and start being creative.
Wow,
and making stuff and mint them as NFTs with internal floor plans, which we will then put onto the whole virtual metaverse.
Smells of a marketplace coming up?
It's part of the marketplace.
It's
part of the resource marketplace.
Very nice. Okay, how many NFTs can I place in the crib? Right. There's a follow-up question regarding 3D. Will users be able to import their own 3D assets to the crib?
All right, so the first question, right, how many can we put into the space? We're going to put some upper limit onto it. Right now we're playing with the fidelity of what you have with the images, but the whole idea is not placeholders. You can put down as many as you want. We've got to be careful about how much you can put into a room before it becomes a mess, but right now we've got like, in one space we've got like 120 assets.
And you can reduce the size.
You can make them small, you
Yeah,
can make them
exactly,
large, you
right,
can do
yeah.
whatever you want. And like we've put hundreds of assets into the
Yeah.
rooms. The room loads and then it streams in everything else. Because remember, we're launching the WebGL version
Mm-hmm.
of the cribs first. The desktop versions will follow later because we just want to get this easy accessibility built out first for it. And what's the second part?
The second part was, will users be able to import their own 3D assets to the crib?
They can bring the 2D assets in.
Yeah.
3D assets later because it's more it's more difficult placing, and it's also down to model compatibility because when you've got the room, you've got different model types you've got FBXs and other types, and you've got different rigs, skeletal rigs on the model. So we've got to try to give as much compatibility as possible. In fact, we'll probably do something like other people do and provide guidelines on what your 3D model needs to support before we can bring it in.
What does that mean though, Jay, in terms of they can bring their own 2D assets? Meaning if they have 2D assets that they have somewhere else, just bring it in?
Any Cardano 2D asset is going to work with that.
Wow, okay, very nice.
We've got them working, with multiple projects and all our partner projects.
Yeah.
You just bring the assets in.
That's awesome, man. Question regarding the yacht, Cardano Condo Yachts. How does the Cardano Condo Yachts Pawn Marina work? It looks amazing, but what is the mechanic behind it?
It looks amazing because of Yaka's feedback, because he didn't like the first materialization, so I'll give him that pat on the back.
Yaka.
But I know this is the first and last time you'll ever get a compliment, Yaka. Okay. So, but the main thing about it is that if you think about it, in the metaverse, you're going to want to have multiple objects, and it's not like the real world where I can put one car on my drive where I'm going to put my helicopter. We don't want people to buy lots and lots of plots to go ahead and try to just have parking space for the vehicles.
Yeah, for all the vehicles, yeah.
So the idea is that we're going to have custom cabinets in these rooms and the cribs and the condos and our VSpaces. And the idea is that you can tap and they'll materialize. So I could have like helicopters and spaceships and cars and yachts and they materialize. I mean, the best analog I have, go watch Ant-Man versus Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
When you had a suitcase and it was full of cars?
Yeah.
That's sort of the inspiration that you can just take what you have.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Because otherwise you end up having something which is overtly crappy looking for the sake of scale, whereas we can have a beautiful marina and yacht and just have them spawn inside it, and if someone's there, make it a little further out. So you don't necessarily need to have massive structures that are just functional. You can be more creative. It's a metaverse. And also the teleportation thing might be useful in the future for you to teleport to another part of the planet or even the universe. Because remember, there will be other planets with other projects.
This is the first one.
Yeah. Like, Nitro are going to be doing their stuff, and people have already got cars. What if you want to take for a race? You might want to take it to the Nitro League planet or whatever they decided to call it.
Last two questions. There are still many plots unclaimed. What will happen if they never get claimed? Do I get all of them?
Well, I mean, other people have bought it, so you can't take their plots.
Fine.
That's theft. Okay?
God,
look,
so many rules.
It's people. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? Look, it's people's prerogatives when they decide to claim or not. The whole idea is a persistent world. It's a persistent metaverse. If people haven't claimed, they haven't claimed.
Well, we will keep it open. We'll just keep it open.
No, it's open. We're not going to take the rights away. Sometimes people, when they buy something off plan, don't go ahead to the office for months. People have got many reasons not to claim.
Yeah. Okay. And then how about this one? Remaining lands on Cardano Island, will they continue to be sold or will it be burned eventually?
No, they won't be burned. I mean, we made this point many times. There's a master plan. Right? You can see the plots. People have bought their houses, put stuff down on the basis that this is the master plan community.
Whoever asked this really wants it to burn.
Again, Yaka, is that you? But yeah, look, no. It's not a generative drop of 10,000. This is a world. And as we actually launch other areas of our world as well, people are going to see utility over here that do certain things. People are going to want to come and do certain things here. And just as we've seen, people are buying more and more and more. We expect it to be filled up.
Yeah.
And after it's filled up, we expect floor prices to go up. But we're not in a great rush because at the end of the day, we're building a metaverse.
It makes sense, yeah.
We're not doing an NFT drop.
Yeah. That's it, man. Those are the questions we have. Guys, very nice dev update. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything coming up this week? I'll tell you what, the most interesting thing for me, exciting thing is the Monster Zone. I've seen snippets. It looks...
Yeah, no.
It is amazing. Literally, it's just out of this world.
Yeah, no, there's really cool stuff.
Out of this world.
No, there's some really cool stuff to see. But the main point here is that Cardano community, and this is so important, and it's worth closing with this, it's not a case of we're launching Virtua Island and okay, guys, we're finished, we're done. See you later, sayonara. We're going to make damn sure that there's going to be opportunities for the Cardano community in everything we do on extensions, features, gameplay, facilities, stuff that we do in Virtua Island, because they are our first community.
Yeah.
So they will actually be taken on the journey. Yes, they can continue to buy plots on Cardano. We're going to continue to develop the island. We do this. It doesn't mean we stop doing this because we are building a world.
Yeah.
And we're not like saying, okay, well, we finished building New York, but we're not going to build San Francisco till every bagel shop in New York is complete. We're building San Francisco while we're building New York, and we're going to build the next city and the next city and the next city and the next islands. But different users will gravitate to that. But there'll be cool stuff for all the users to do. And like, just imagine, we're building a massive community who are going to want that resources from Cardano Island.
Yeah,
that's going to help everybody.
It's worth saying. This is for everyone. It's not just one Cardano for Cardano, Virtua for someone else. It is a world for everyone.
Yeah, and look, this is the thing. I mean, look, we said we're going to bring in brands. We're going to bring in AAA things into the Cardano community. And it's CNFT last week.
No, Shelby, look at that. Come on.
We launched Shelby. We had Charles in the car. We're the head of Shelby there, and we launched Cobra NFTs. I mean, come on, we deliver. And
the sexiest thing, exactly.
And that went Cardano first. And you know what? That wouldn't have happened if we were niche in Cardano. We'd have never got Shelby signing up with us.
Yeah.
They have to see cross-universe play, but it doesn't stop anything from coming to Cardano. Yeah. It came there first.
Yeah. All right, everyone, that's it for this week. And keep asking questions and we'll answer them for you. Thank you. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you very much.